Holy crap, Sega did it. They have new playable characters in a mainline Sonic game. Alright guys, I know it's been a couple of months since my last video, or at least my last video in this format, but I'm not even gonna make this intro long. I'm just gonna make it short and simple because oh my god, bro, Kishimoto and Sonic Team were cooking for this update. Like, the amount of new stuff they added from the base game all the way to update 3 is freaking crazy. And yes, I know I didn't make a video on update 1 or update 2. But that's because, they really didn't add that much. Update 2 added way more than Update 1, but still, all it added mostly was new challenges and the spin dash, which was probably the best part of the update. But even still, just Update 2 made the game better because it also added momentum and stuff. So it just made it a better game than it was at launch. But Update 3 rolled around and this is a completely different game. Not only did they fix the ending of Sonic Frontiers, which was the most complained about thing in every review that I watched, aside from mine, because mine wasn't a spoiler review. You should go watch it. Wink, wink. But not only did they fix that, but they just added new playable characters. Like, we all know that they said that they were gonna do that since the, what's it called? The DLC roadmap. As you can tell, I definitely wrote a script for this video. I'm not going off my head. Mostly. But yeah, we've known that there were gonna be multiple playable characters already because of that roadmap. So, why am I so excited? Well, because they did a good job with these characters. We haven't been able to play as these characters since 2006. We haven't been able to play as any other character aside from Sonic since 2006. So the fact that we got new playable characters and they're actually fun to play as and feel different enough, but in a good way, it's rewarding. Like, it feels like we did something good. Well, aside from Knuckles, but I'll get to that whenever we talk about the gameplay. But yeah, with all that said, I guess we should just get to the story. Okay, so the story is actually not that different, but it's different enough. I know it doesn't make sense, but bear with me here. Okay, so this story takes off right after Rhea Island, where Sonic's friends had just saved him from his cyber corruption. And so Sage just comes up and tells him, hey, we can reverse the whole thing that your friends did to save you, but you're still going to be in your cyber corruption, but you can channel it into power, something. And then Sonic says sure. His friends stop saving him. I don't know how to explain it. They just come back and he goes back to his cyber corruption, but not like the one where he's dead cyber corruption, which makes no sense, kind of, because he was in his dead cyber corruption form whenever they saved him. So if they got out, wouldn't he just be in his dead cyber corruption form? I don't even know why I'm hung over this story. It's a franchise about blue hedgehogs that run fast and foxes that can fly with their butt. Anyways, Sonic's friends come back and he tells them to go look for the Chaos Emeralds for him. A la when in Sonic 06, everybody has to go get the Chaos Emeralds for Sonic to go revive him. Which is kind of the same thing that's happening here. Sega? Is that a Sonic 06 reference? Okay, but anyways, it's here where you switch into Amy to go look for the first Chaos Emerald. But then you go to the little Chaos Emerald thingies that have had the Chaos Emeralds the whole games, and the Chaos Emerald is not there. So you have to go through these little challenges, with all three characters, where they do their own little thing. But at the end of each little challenge, they find where the Chaos Emeralds are now being held. And with Tails, he's the last one that you play as in each of those sections. So you have to find a little hacking Coco thing that like unlocks the Chaos Emerald shrines, where like the new ones that they're in. And you just rinse and repeat that for finding the Chaos Emeralds until you get 6 of them. While you're doing all of this with finding the Chaos Emeralds, you will get thrown into a Sonic section after you unlock 3 of the Chaos Emeralds. In these sections, you're kind of just climbing towers that are like the ones in Rhea, except they're like way harder. Which, I mean, everybody's been saying that they're hard, but I didn't really have any problem with them. So, I don't know. Like, I was playing on hard mode. It was good. The platforming in those sections were actually really good. Like, it was no 2D, it's like all just 3D momentum based platform. And you even use the spin dash, and you have to utilize momentum in those parts, which is pretty cool. They actually did a decent job with the platforming on those. It's not just a 2D section that you get forcefully thrown into. But once you get to the top of the tower, you have to fight one of the ancients that piloted the Titans from the flashbacks that Sonic gets throughout the game after defeating the Titans. Each challenge is something different, like defeating a certain amount of enemies in a certain time. That's basically all of them. For the first pilot, you have to fight a bunch of the white Oranos enemies that are just like around, the ones that like switch between colors for each island. Like they're black in Kronos, and then they're purple in Ares, and in Chaos they're red. For the second pilot, yeah, I don't even like. This was the hard part. This is the part that everybody was talking about that I understood was hard. Like, Jesus Christ, Kishimoto. Yeah, Kishimoto, what was he cooking with this specifically? Because the difficulty spike is crazy. Like, you have 4 of those enemies from Kronos that, like, throw, like, the little disc thing at you. And you're at 1, like, you deal 1 damage. You're at level 1 stats. You deal 1 damage. And you have to defeat all of them in 2 minutes. And they're all sped up, so their attacks are way more faster. This took me like half of the day that I played this freaking update. Okay, but the third pilot's trial goes down in difficulty, back, and all you have to do is parry a bunch of those dog enemies that are in Oranos, and they're just a little bit faster in the time limit. And the fourth and final island just has you beat one of the ninja bosses at level 1 stats. And then you climb the 5th and final tower, and we get to another part that people complained about that I thought was also easy. But maybe it's just because I spent a lot of time beating the Titan bosses, and I just know how they work inside and out. So I got it like my second try, because the first try I was just messing around too much, and then I ended up losing all my rings at the night fight. But the second time around, I just sped run it, that's it. I mean, it was pretty easy. But yeah, once you beat the Master King Coco's final challenge, you get to fight Supreme. Just like regular Supreme. And that's it. Okay, no, but seriously, you thought I would be this hype from just fighting the Supreme boss? Hell no. They have a whole new boss for the end instead of that stupid, like, Galactica, I think it's called, like, shooting thing that you do for a final boss. Like, that was, why? Like, it was introduced in the hacking mini games, and then they just used that. But, like, for what purpose? What, like, no. They give us a whole new boss, which is so fun to beat. Like, it's so fun. And then we get Supersonic 2, and not only Supersonic 2, but we get like this cyber corruption take over Sonic. When I saw this, bro, I went crazy, cause like We already saw what Super Sonic 2 looked like, but I didn't see the Cyber Corruption Sonic until, what, 2 days ago? Because that's when I played the Final Horizon. I didn't play the Final Horizon on September when it came out. I was like, way too busy. But bro, oh my, like 10 out of 10 boss fight. Probably one of my favorite Sonic boss fights ever. Like, oh my. But yeah, that's basically it for the story. I don't want to reveal too much. I mean, I kind of went through a basic summary of what happens and just explained the whole boss fight basically. But I mean, now I guess it's on to the playable characters. Okay, I've seen some very mixed opinions on the reviews about the playable characters. I've seen people say that Tails is the second best character to play as aside from Amy, and Knuckles is the least best to play as. And I've seen opinions that say that Knuckles is the second best character to play as and Tails is the worst character to play as. But consistently, I've seen that Amy is the best one out of the 3 playable characters, which I agree with. She has a way better glide than Knuckles. I'm gonna just start off with that. Knuckles' glide sucks. Like, it really sucks. Like, I don't even like using his glide when I play as him most of the time. The only time I really used it was for this gameplay that you're seeing right now of Knuckles. This is the only time that I genuinely went out of my way to play as Knuckles, because I needed gameplay. I don't like playing as Knuckles. But Amy is the best character in the game. She plays mostly like Sonic, but she has her own cool things like her little tarot card spin dash. Her hover is really good. It's basically like a triple jump. But it's really good. And her platforming sections I prefer them over Sonic's. Even though Sonic is still my favorite character to play as in the game, out of the new playable characters, Amy is the best one, and I really like playing as her. Now Tails, the only downside about Tails is that he doesn't have a homing attack, but that doesn't really get in the way like most people who have the argument that Tails is the worst have. Like, other than the homing attack, it's really good. And if you go out of your way to buy the Tornado 2, then trust me, it's amazing. And it changes the whole gameplay. Now, Knuckles. Oh boy. So I already said earlier, his glide sucks. His wall climbing also sucks. Like, his wall climbing is finicky. It's like, you'll stick onto a wall, or you won't stick onto a wall. And it's just like, ooh, it's so annoying. Leveling him up was a chore. Just because moving around with him just isn't as fun as the other 2. Because the minute you unlock the boost for Amy and Tails, their upgraded boost, it feels better to play with. Like, it feels better to fly around with the X. I don't remember if it's the Tornado 2 or X Tornado. I'm gonna just say Tornado 2 to be safe. But flying around with the Tornado 2 is like so fun. It's awesome. And going around in the little spin dash tarot card thing that Amy has is also cool. But Knuckles is just like, this is Knuckles. I mean, like, he feels like a worse Sonic. Because his climbing is worse than Sonic's. His gliding is worse than Amy's. And the only thing that I can see that he has better than everybody else is his combat, because it feels more like a spectacle than the other characters when you play combat with him. Like, his boost drill thing is also pretty cool, but it's not even like, I just don't like it as much as the other 2's. And his glide, oh my god, his glide has the worst little like 2-second animation before you can even use it, and it's just annoying. And he turns like a tank, like it's like a car in the air. For Amy and Tails, they also have those little animation things, but you don't really feel it as much with Knuckles as you do with them, because with Amy, it's only with her little card boost And yeah, it gets annoying. All you have to do is do like a little air boost, and you have to go through the whole animation just to do it. And for Tails, it doesn't really get in the way with Tails. All he does is like he does his little animation once to get into his little flying, to get into the flight. But I mean, other than that, it's not even that serious. But with Knuckles, you can really see it. Every time that he needs to glide, he does this 2-second animation, and it's annoying. At least with Tails, he only does the 2-second animation once, and that's when you're just starting up the flight. And to make this clear, I don't hate Knuckles. He is one of my favorite Sonic characters in the whole entire series. And I'm just mad because they gave him the short end of the stick. He plays worse than Knuckles in 06. That's a low line. They could have at least tried to make it play like SA2, like they did in 06, which you can see elements of them maybe wanting to, but it just feels so like, ooh, it's infuriating how bad they did Knuckles. Like he's one of my favorite characters, and I just don't like how they did not do him any justice. But yeah, I guess that's kind of it for the gameplay. I mean, there wasn't really that much to talk about. Everybody mostly plays like Sonic. They just have their own little like kinks and tweaks that, you know, make them different enough so that it's not just like feeling like you playing as Sonic the whole game. So yeah. Yeah, that's kind of it. I mean, there's not really a lot that I wanted to talk about, but all I wanted to say mostly is just that Knuckles sucks in this game. Avoid him at all costs. Okay, no, but on a serious note, yeah, like, this update was really good. Kishimoto and Sega really cooked. You know, Knuckles almost ruined it for me, but I mean, after I upgraded him, he wasn't as bad as he is when you start off with him. He's still bad. He's just not as bad. I'm still sad that they did my boy wrong and gave him the short end of the stick when it comes to gameplay, but it's whatever. You know, something bad had to happen to Knuckles eventually. It always does. But yeah, that's kind of it. Like and subscribe if you want, you know. New video. Don't know when I'm gonna post the next video, but I just know it's gonna come out like in 2 months, like usual. So yeah, peace, and stay away from that garlic bread. It makes you fat.